Our question is, some believe that school uniforms should be mandatory. Do you wear a uniform in your school?
Of course not. In university, we can wear our wear
Whatever we
wear my
like.
own clothes. Yes,
Yeah.
and
Are
but
there any,
in primary school or the high school, we have to wear the uniform.
okay. So in primaries and high school in China or in my country, you can start it off with in my country, students
In my country,
in primary and high
required
school are
uh,
required
required
to
to
wear
wear.
uniforms. I think this is because I think this is
Mm,
because so why do high schools and primary schools require that students wear uniforms, but university does not? What's the difference between students attending primary school and high school and students attending university? Why would it be absurd to ask that students in university all wear a cute kilt and a little red flag around their neck?
mm. Actually, I haven't thought about this question. I think in primary school and high school, the school want to foster a sense of teamwork or or collective honor in student
Yeah, identity, collective identity, identity,
collective. Like,
collective or group identity,
uh,
identity.
okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
give me two reasons. It could also be because
And it's also could let me think.
sure.
In some perspective, I think the universe can offer protection and mm,
Well, they offer many functions. They offer a range of functions,
arrange
such as protection
protection
and
or con- control.
control. Sure, okay.
Uh,
So now, okay, protection and control. What do you mean by that?
and like for example,
For example,
if if a student wear the uniforms some place they cannot
B, such as outside of school,
mm,
right? If a student leaves the school campus, right? So
like
if a student,
internet cafe, I
yeah,
think, or
okay. So
or
for example,
mm,
a uniform can help to identify someone who is a student. If a student is seen outside of campus during school hours wearing the uniform, it will be easy for the school to ask the police to find that student, right? They say a student is missing.
because in university every day I have to take time to think
Yes,
what I should wear today. But in high school, I
yeah,
didn't need to think of this question.
very good. So maybe instead of protection and control, uniforms can also help save time as well. It is it was much more convenient for me in high school because I didn't have to make any fashion decisions. So I now
Yes.
how do we conclude this? To sum up, you could say like I can see how useful uniforms would be from a school administrator or parent point of view. Okay. Parents, parents will probably strongly agree with having their kids wear uniforms. Schools will obviously make the decision to compel students to wear uniforms. And these are some of the reasons. There are probably many other reasons, but we only have to give 2 reasons, okay? Let's try that again. Some believe that school uniforms should be mandatory. Why do you think they believe this? You can read the question or you can try to answer the question from memory.
I read it.
Okay.
In my country, students in primary and high school are required to wear uniforms. I think this is because the school want to foster a sense of teamwork and collective or group identity. It could also be because uniforms can offer a range of functions such as protection and control. For example, a uniform can help to identify someone who is a student. If a student is seen outside of campus during school hours wearing the uniform, it will be easy for the school to ask the police to find that student. Uniforms can help save time as well. It was much more convenient for me in high school because I didn't have to make any fashion decision. I can see how useful uniforms would be from the school administrator or parent point of view.
Okay, so what's important about this, very good delivery there. Here we are paraphrasing the question and introducing the response. And then here we are, reason 1, reason 2, and
Uniforms can help save time.
yeah, reason 3. Great. In this one, we make a statement, but we don't offer any support. So no supporting explanation given. But here, example to support the previous claim. Uniforms offer a range of functions such as protection and control. And there you give the example, right? Reason 3. Example. Here is our summary conclusion.
Can see useful.
Now, this one here, you don't really give any supporting explanation, but that's fine. It's not required. It's pretty easy to make that assumption, right? You don't have to give an explanation for everything. I don't want you to overthink it, but I do want to show you that we can structure our answer to satisfy all of those task achievement requirements in this way. Make the claim, give the supporting reason, and show how it connects to the question that's being asked. And you can let the examiner know that you're finished when you give a kind of a summary conclusion. Don't just leave it like unfinished. Try to say, so that's why I say what, that's why I think this, right? It's a good habit to cultivate, to get into. Now, this is a great question here. Put this in. Can you read this question?
Growing.
It used to be the case that a growing number of people believed that electric cars were the future of transportation. Nowadays, maybe there's increased skepticism. Let's find out, what's your opinion on this topic? Are electric cars the future for transportation or not? Do you agree that electric cars are the future of transportation or not?
In this question, I only can agree or
In,
disagree.
in this question, you have to talk about the reasons why people believe
Some
that
people.
they are. Yeah. But you could think of it from your perspective. What is my belief?
Mm,
What do I believe? Do you believe it's true or false? Electric cars are the future for transportation. True or false?
mm,
What are defined as electric cars? What kind of electric cars are currently in use? Why? Why are they popular among consumers? What advantages do they provide over the traditional combustion engine cars? So by answering all of these kinds of questions, we can construct our, we can formulate our response, right?
mm.
So what are defined as electric cars? Let's say Tesla. What else? Tesla, Xpeng, BYD.
BYD.
Yeah, Tesla, Xpeng, and BYD are,
Some
you could say in my country, Tesla, Xpeng, and BYD cars
uh,
are very popular
popular.
and desirable. Why would you buy an electric car instead of one that you can take to the petrol station?
Oh, you ask me if
Hmm.
some
Yeah.
if some maybe because I think the electric car may cost less money
Yeah.
than
Okay.
an oil car. Can I say oil car or
Yeah. Combustion engine vehicles.
combustion engine vehicles?
Yeah.
And I think
It's a lot to say.
charging may be cheaper than
It's true.
refueling.
Charging can be cheaper
Cheaper.
than refueling. If if the
It's
measurements
it's
are accurate, right? Like, yeah. How much okay, charging can be cheaper than refueling with petrol. Good. A full charge that can give a driver 500 kilometers of driving in average conditions would cost 60 RMB, 61. Gasoline, by comparison, is subject to price changes. Okay. Can you provide one more reason?
um, electricity is an energy source that can be recycled
Sure.
and is friendly to the it can be friendly to the environment.
Okay, good. So electric cars do not emit any gases
Yes.
because there is no fuel being burned, right? Burnt. So if more and more people choose to drive electric cars, the air quality in cities will improve. improve a lot. I think this is why governments or the
Support.
government, yeah, the government in my country is very supportive to the EV industry on the whole. Okay. Now, you made the claim that electricity can be recycled. I think what you're trying to say is that electricity can be locally produced, or that
Yeah.
electricity can be made renewable.
Yes.
As more and more, it's true that um, the efficiency of electric generation is improving. So the coal that is burned today is cleaner than the coal that was burned 20 years ago. 20 years ago, coal electric generating stations produced a lot more harmful waste gas than they do today. And we can safely make the assumption or prediction that 20 years in the future, electric generation will be even cleaner. More and more countries can go with the nuclear option. Like nuclear technology today is a lot better than it was when it was originally introduced. It can be very safe if they spend enough money on it. And so, yeah, for this reason, like if countries manage their electric generation well and the technology improves, absolutely, we're going to see cheaper energy, but we won't see cheaper fossil fuel because fossil fuel has to be taken out of specific parts of the world and delivered everywhere. Like a petrol station has to have uh, petrol delivered to it every morning and every evening. And, it costs petrol to deliver the petrol and to store the petrol. So, yeah, like the fossil fuel model of supplying supplying energy is quite expensive with a lot of stages, whereas using the electric grid to charge batteries is pretty direct. Now, batteries, on the other hand, there's an argument about are we going to have the resources to produce batteries or not? But we don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about why some people believe that the batteries are a problem. We only have to talk about the reasons why electric cars are, well, the reasons why people support electric cars over combustion engine cars, okay? So this is kind of why I
Okay.
want to hit you with, I don't want to hit you with a bunch of random questions. I want to give you opportunities to practice agreeing and disagreeing and then talking about topics that we neither agree nor disagree with, right? So, um, and to understand the structure, so let's read it again. We'll put it together.
Mm.
We might want to say here, secondly, so we've got our introduction and
Action.
paraphrasing the question. So important that you do this, okay? So this here is how we introduce this. And then we go, reason one,
Reason. And reason two second.
explanation, or yeah, reason two, explanation. By explanation, I mean you are explaining what you mean. Like why, explanation, why it is relevant to the question. Okay.
And in my
And then,
country, Tesla X. Yeah.
yes, good,
Can
good.
I start it? Okay.
Yep.
So in my country, Tesla X-Pen and BYD cars are very popular and desirable. You can see a lot of people driving these cars nowadays. I think it's fair to say that a growing number of people are in fact choosing to buy electric cars instead of the combustion en engine vehicles.
So yeah,
Um,
from their
from
perspective,
their perspective, I think electric car can electric car are cheaper, charging can cheaper than refueling with petrol. A full charge that can give a driver 500 kilometers of driving in average conditions would cost about 60 yuan. Then gasoline, by comparison, is subject to price changes. And secondly, electric cars do not emit any gases because there is no fuel being burnt. So if more and more people choose to drive electric cars, the air quality in cities will improve a lot. I think this is why the government in my country is very supportive to the EV industry on the whole.
Yeah, on the whole, very good.
EV industry, what I mean, electric
Electric vehicle.
vehicle.
Because electric vehicle can be electric bus, electric car, electric mini
Electric.
car, electric bike, electric
Exactly.
train.
Mm. Today I ride the electric bike
Have you done that before?
to come back the dormitory, but my my hand
Mm,
feel
yeah.
hurt because today is very
The
cold.
wind. The wind, right?
Yeah, and it's very windy today
Mhm. Yeah.
in Qingdao.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gave up on that months ago. I used to love e-bikes, but mine's just getting too old and I'm not sure if I want to buy a new one or not. Obviously I will someday, but I'm in no rush. I used to love e-bikes and I would drive it everywhere, but increasingly over time I sort of realized these things aren't very safe. And I like having a peaceful state of mind. When I was driving my e-bike for like long periods of time, I thought it made me very angry because I felt I was always being attacked by somebody.
Yeah.
A car or another person on a bike.
Yes.
They don't have good traffic regulations for e-bikes yet.